There are moments inside the British monarchy when a private family dispute quietly transforms into an institutional reckoning, and according to new reports surrounding Prince William, the future king, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, and a controversial Australia tour that left Buckingham Palace under intense scrutiny, many royal watchers now believe that moment may have finally arrived. But what if this was never just about titles? And what if Prince William had already begun planning something far bigger? For years, royal commentators, palace insiders, and longtime followers of the royal family have watched the relationship between Prince William, the Prince of Wales, and Prince Harry deteriorate from quiet tension into something that now appears far more strategic, far more institutional, and according to several reports, far more permanent than many ever expected. What makes this latest chapter different, however, is not simply the emotional distance between Prince William and Prince Harry, because emotional distance inside royal bloodlines is nothing new, but rather the growing belief that Prince William, the future king, may now be actively reshaping the monarchy itself in response to what happened thousands of miles away in Australia. And when Catherine, Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton herself reportedly stood firmly beside Prince William during private conversations at Kensington Palace, royal insiders began asking an uncomfortable question. Was the Sussex era quietly approaching its final chapter? According to reports emerging from multiple royal commentators, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, arrived in Australia in April of 2026 under the language of charity, advocacy, and public service. Yet what followed quickly sparked criticism that stretched far beyond tabloid headlines and celebrity gossip. Public appearances that were expected to strengthen the Sussex image instead created an entirely different conversation, because commercial partnerships, branded appearances, paid engagements, and carefully timed promotional opportunities began to overshadow the charitable messaging that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had publicly promised. Some reports suggest that Australian commentators described the visit as a hybrid royal commercial operation, while palace insiders allegedly informed Buckingham Palace that public sentiment was turning faster than expected. But here is the question for you. If a royal title begins to function like a private brand, does the monarchy have the right to step in? What happened next may be even more important, because sources close to palace circles claim that Prince William, the future king, was not simply watching headlines unfold from afar, and Prince William was not merely receiving briefing papers inside Kensington Palace. Reports suggest Prince William personally monitored reactions, studied Commonwealth response, and began contacting trusted advisors as criticism of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle intensified across Australia. For Prince William, this reportedly was not about jealousy, revenge, or old sibling rivalry, because insiders claim Prince William viewed the controversy through an entirely different lens: institutional credibility. Prince William reportedly believed that every controversial appearance by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle was no longer affecting just the Sussex brand, but the credibility of King Charles III, the stability of Buckingham Palace, and the long-term trust surrounding the future of the monarchy itself. And when a future king starts thinking in institutional terms instead of personal terms, history usually follows. At the same time, Catherine, Princess of Wales, often described by palace observers as the stabilizing force behind Prince William, has become increasingly central to discussions about the monarchy's future image. Royal commentators frequently describe Kate Middleton as one of the most trusted public figures inside the institution, and according to reports, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has privately supported efforts to build a smaller, more disciplined, and more duty-focused royal family. That matters more than many people realize, because when Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, move in alignment, Buckingham Palace tends to pay very close attention. Could this mean that Prince William and Kate Middleton are no longer preparing for a traditional succession, but preparing for a complete structural reset of the royal family? Meanwhile, King Charles III remains at the center of a difficult balancing act, because King Charles III has historically been viewed as more cautious regarding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, more emotionally tied to family reconciliation, and more hesitant to trigger an open institutional conflict that could dominate global headlines. Yet some insiders claim that even King Charles III may now understand that public patience with non-working royals is changing, taxpayer conversations are becoming louder, and questions surrounding royal titles, royal privileges, and royal accountability are becoming impossible to ignore. If Prince William eventually ascends the throne sooner than many expected, could King Charles III's cautious approach be replaced by something far more decisive, and far less forgiving? And just when royal watchers believed this conflict was simply about Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the Duchess of Sussex title, another name quietly began appearing inside palace discussions. James, Earl of Wessex, the low-profile young royal whose quiet discipline, family loyalty, and distance from commercial controversy have reportedly impressed senior palace figures. While Prince Harry and Meghan Markle dominated global headlines, streaming platforms, interviews, and international branding deals, James, Earl of Wessex, according to royal commentators, quietly represented the exact opposite model that Prince William may want the monarchy to reward in the future. And that raises perhaps the biggest question of all. Is Prince William, the future king, preparing not just to remove influence from one branch of the royal family, but to elevate an entirely different one? Because what happened behind palace walls next may change everything. And in the next section, the legal mechanism Prince William may reportedly be studying could reveal how Buckingham Palace plans to execute one of the most dramatic royal restructurings in modern history. As the headlines surrounding Prince William, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, and the future of the British monarchy continue to dominate royal conversations across Britain, Australia, the United States, and every corner of the Commonwealth, something far more serious was reportedly unfolding behind the historic walls of Buckingham Palace, because according to palace observers, Prince William, the future king, was no longer asking whether the Sussex controversy had damaged the institution. Prince William was now reportedly asking how the institution could legally ensure that such a crisis would never happen again. And once that question entered the room, everything inside the monarchy began to change. Royal insiders claim that in the weeks following Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's controversial Australia appearances, confidential briefings began circulating between Kensington Palace, Buckingham Palace, constitutional advisors, and senior figures connected to parliamentary procedure. And what makes this particularly significant is that these conversations reportedly were not focused on media messaging, public relations recovery, or family reconciliation. According to reports, these conversations centered around one powerful phrase that rarely enters public royal discourse: letters patent. For casual royal followers, letters patent may sound like an ancient ceremonial document hidden in dusty archives. Yet for Prince William, the future king, letters patent may represent one of the most powerful constitutional instruments available to reshape the monarchy from the inside. But here is the question for you. If Prince William legally possesses the authority to redefine royal status, should Prince William actually use that power? According to royal commentators who closely follow constitutional matters, letters patent are formal legal instruments issued by the sovereign that determine who may carry styles, privileges, and official designations inside the royal family. And history shows that these documents have quietly shaped the lives of princes, princesses, heirs, and extended royal branches for generations. Prince William reportedly understands that while emotions may dominate headlines, institutions survive through legal architecture, not family sentiment. That is why some insiders suggest Prince William has been studying previous royal restructurings, including how titles were modified under King George V, how succession frameworks evolved under Queen Elizabeth II, and how modern monarchies across Europe streamlined their public-facing families. Prince William, according to some reports, may not be preparing for revenge. Prince William may be preparing for redesign. And if redesign becomes the goal, then Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may only represent the beginning of a much larger transformation. At the center of these discussions sits one difficult constitutional distinction that many viewers may not fully realize, because removing an HRH style is very different from removing a hereditary peerage such as Duke of Sussex. Royal analysts explain that Prince William, once king, could reportedly use letters patent to remove HRH designations from non-working royals with relatively direct authority, yet the actual Duke of Sussex title connected to Prince Harry would likely require parliamentary involvement, legislative cooperation, and significant political timing. That means Prince William, the future king, may be thinking not in headlines, but in phases. Phase 1 could involve symbolic separation. Phase 2 could involve structural separation. And Phase 3 could permanently redefine how the public views royal privilege in the 21st century. What would you do if you were Prince William? Would you remove titles gradually, or would you make one dramatic decision and change everything overnight? What makes this story even more fascinating is that Prince William may already have a modern blueprint, and that blueprint may not come from Britain at all. Royal observers have repeatedly pointed toward the Danish monarchy, where Queen Margrethe made the controversial but ultimately decisive decision to remove princely titles from selected family members in order to create a smaller and more sustainable institution. Reports suggest Prince William has followed that model with growing interest, particularly as Catherine, Princess of Wales, continues to represent stability, discipline, and public trust at a time when public expectations of the monarchy are evolving rapidly. Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, reportedly understands better than most that future legitimacy may depend not on how many titles the royal family distributes, but on how clearly the royal family defines who truly serves. And when Prince William and Kate Middleton reportedly share the same long-term vision, palace officials rarely ignore that alignment. Meanwhile, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, remain globally influential, commercially visible, and emotionally connected to millions of supporters, yet that visibility may now be creating the very tension that Prince William seeks to eliminate. According to commentators, every podcast appearance, every branded partnership, every documentary interview, and every paid speaking engagement linked even indirectly to royal identity creates another conversation inside palace walls about institutional boundaries. Prince William reportedly sees a dangerous precedent taking shape, because if royal titles can function indefinitely as private commercial assets without public service accountability, then the monarchy itself risks becoming less an institution and more a marketplace of inherited influence. And once that perception spreads, can Buckingham Palace truly protect the credibility of King Charles III, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and future generations of the crown? Yet the most surprising development may not involve Prince Harry or Meghan Markle at all, because while constitutional discussions intensify, another branch of the royal family has quietly risen in strategic importance. Prince Edward, Duke of Edinburgh, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, and James, Earl of Wessex, have increasingly been described by royal insiders as the model of modern service, discretion, and institutional loyalty. Unlike the global media cycle surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, James, Earl of Wessex has remained almost entirely absent from controversy, absent from commercial branding, and absent from headline-driven visibility. And sometimes inside monarchy, absence creates more value than visibility. Could Prince William, the future king, be preparing to reward silence, discipline, and loyalty instead of celebrity and exposure? Because if those reports are accurate, then the next chapter becomes even more explosive, as palace insiders now claim that Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince William, and senior advisors may already be discussing how the Sussex children, Archie and Lilibet, could fit into a dramatically smaller royal structure. And what happens next may trigger the most emotional debate the monarchy has faced in decades. As discussions surrounding Prince William, the future king, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, and the possible restructuring of the British monarchy continue to spread through palace corridors, media studios, and royal circles across the Commonwealth, a far more emotionally sensitive question reportedly began emerging behind closed doors, and according to multiple royal commentators, this question was no longer focused only on Prince Harry or Meghan Markle. This question was now centered on Archie and Lilibet, the children of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, and what role, if any, Archie and Lilibet may one day hold inside Prince William's vision for a smaller, leaner, and more controlled monarchy. And once children become part of institutional planning, even the most strategic royal reform suddenly becomes deeply personal. Royal insiders claim that Prince William, the future king, has increasingly viewed succession not as a symbolic family tradition, but as a long-term structural responsibility, and according to reports, Prince William believes every title carried by every member of the royal family must eventually connect to public service, institutional loyalty, and visible accountability. That philosophy may sound logical on paper, yet the emotional consequences become far more complicated when that philosophy reaches the next generation. Archie and Lilibet currently hold a unique place inside modern royal history, because Archie and Lilibet carry royal recognition connected to bloodline, legacy, and the line of succession, yet Archie and Lilibet have grown up thousands of miles away from Buckingham Palace, outside the daily rhythm of royal engagements, royal traditions, and public duties associated with working members of the crown. So here is the question for you. Should royal titles belong to birth alone, or should royal titles eventually require service to the institution that created them? According to several commentators, Prince William reportedly understands that Archie and Lilibet themselves are not the controversy, and Prince William reportedly holds no personal hostility toward children who had no role in the decisions made by Prince Harry or Meghan Markle. Yet Prince William also reportedly believes that institutions cannot operate on emotion alone, especially when public funding, public trust, and public symbolism are involved. Some reports suggest that Prince William, together with Catherine, Princess of Wales, has privately discussed what a future monarchy should look like by the time Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis reach adulthood, and those conversations reportedly focus on one central principle: clarity. Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, has long been associated with consistency, discipline, and public confidence, and some palace observers believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, supports a structure where every title inside the royal family carries visible purpose rather than inherited ambiguity. And if Prince William and Kate Middleton truly share that long-term vision, then Archie and Lilibet may unintentionally find themselves at the center of one of the most sensitive constitutional debates of this generation. What makes this even more emotionally charged is the role of Prince Harry himself, because according to royal biographers, Prince Harry has always carried a complicated relationship with identity, belonging, and institutional duty, shaped not only by royal privilege but also by personal grief, public pressure, and the lasting legacy of Princess Diana. Prince Harry, once described as one of the most beloved members of the royal family, now reportedly watches palace. Developments from California with growing concern, especially as reports continue suggesting that Prince William may eventually move beyond symbolic reform and toward permanent structural changes. Some commentators claim Prince Harry worries that once Prince William becomes king, titles connected not only to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, but potentially to Archie and Lilibet, could face reassessment under a new constitutional framework. And if those reports hold any truth, then Prince Harry may no longer be fighting only for reputation. Prince Harry may now be fighting for legacy. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, remains one of the most discussed and polarizing figures in modern royal history, and according to analysts, Meghan Markle's continued commercial visibility creates both admiration and institutional discomfort at the same time. Supporters of Meghan Markle often argue that the Duchess of Sussex has every right to build a global identity independent of Buckingham Palace, independent of old traditions, and independent of outdated expectations placed upon royal women. Yet critics inside royal circles reportedly see something very different, because every appearance by Meghan Markle that intersects with branding, media platforms, public storytelling, or commercial partnerships reportedly reignites the same question inside palace meetings. Where exactly does private enterprise end, and where does royal identity begin? What do you think? Has Meghan Markle successfully built independence, or has Meghan Markle unintentionally intensified the very conflict Prince William now seeks to resolve? At the same time, King Charles III reportedly finds himself in one of the most difficult positions of his reign, because King Charles III must balance personal love for Prince Harry with institutional responsibility toward Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the long-term survival of the monarchy itself. Royal commentators frequently note that King Charles III initially appeared far more open to preserving bridges, preserving titles, and preserving emotional ties after Queen Elizabeth II's passing. But as controversies surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continued through interviews, documentaries, memoirs, and international appearances, some insiders now believe even King Charles III may quietly understand that Prince William's reform agenda is no longer a hypothetical future discussion. Prince William's reform agenda may already be politically inevitable. And when a reigning monarch begins preparing for reforms that may be completed by the next monarch, history tends to move faster than the public realizes. Yet while global headlines continue focusing on Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Archie, and Lilibet, another story has quietly been unfolding inside the extended royal family, and that story leads directly toward James, Earl of Wessex, the low-profile young royal whose discipline, privacy, and absence from controversy have reportedly made a strong impression on Prince William, the future king. Royal insiders increasingly suggest that James, Earl of Wessex, together with Prince Edward and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, represents the exact model Prince William wants the monarchy to reward in the decades ahead. Quiet duty instead of global branding. Institutional loyalty instead of public conflict. Stability instead of unpredictability. And if Prince William truly intends to rebuild the monarchy around those values, then the next chapter may reveal something even more dramatic. Because palace observers now claim Prince William may already know exactly which branch of the royal family will rise, once another branch quietly fades from power. As Prince William, the future king, continues to emerge as the central architect of what many royal observers now describe as a new era for the British monarchy, one question has begun circulating not only inside Buckingham Palace, not only among palace insiders, but also among constitutional experts, Commonwealth commentators, and longtime followers of the royal family across the world. If Prince William truly intends to reshape the institution from the inside, who exactly stands to gain from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle moving further away from the center of royal influence, and perhaps even more importantly, who has already been quietly preparing for that moment without ever asking for attention? Because according to growing reports, the answer may lead directly to one of the quietest names in modern royal history. James, Earl of Wessex. For many casual royal followers, James, Earl of Wessex, has remained almost invisible compared with the global media presence of Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, Prince William, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and even Prince Andrew during past controversies. Yet inside palace circles, invisibility is sometimes not weakness at all. Invisibility can represent discipline. Invisibility can represent trust. And according to several royal commentators, Prince William, the future king, may value those qualities more than public charisma, media reach, or celebrity influence. James, Earl of Wessex, the son of Prince Edward, Duke of Edinburgh, and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, has grown up in a very different royal environment, one shaped not by global interviews, not by streaming platforms, and not by commercial branding, but by quiet duty, controlled privacy, and a deliberate distance from the spotlight. And here is the question for you. In a monarchy fighting to remain relevant, is quiet service more valuable than global popularity? Royal insiders frequently point toward Prince Edward and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, as one of the most consistently respected branches of the modern royal family, because unlike many other public figures connected to the crown, Prince Edward and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, have rarely been associated with public scandal, political controversy, explosive interviews, or commercial reinvention. Instead, Prince Edward and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, have quietly completed engagements, supported charitable initiatives, represented the institution with discipline, and most importantly, in Prince William's reported view, never created headlines that forced Buckingham Palace into defensive mode. Some palace commentators now believe that Prince William has studied this branch of the family very carefully, not because Prince William wants to copy the past, but because Prince William may see Prince Edward, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, and James, Earl of Wessex, as the blueprint for a future monarchy built on loyalty instead of visibility. And if that assessment is accurate, then Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may not simply be losing influence. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may be witnessing another branch quietly rising in their place. What makes this shift even more fascinating is the role of Catherine, Princess of Wales, because Kate Middleton has long represented consistency, public trust, and emotional intelligence inside the monarchy, and according to palace observers, Catherine, Princess of Wales, reportedly shares Prince William's belief that the future of the institution depends on public clarity. Royal analysts often describe Kate Middleton as someone who understands optics, timing, and public confidence better than almost anyone inside Buckingham Palace. And some insiders suggest Catherine, Princess of Wales, has privately supported efforts to highlight working royals who quietly contribute rather than constantly demand public attention. That means when James, Earl of Wessex, appears alongside senior royals in future engagements, those appearances may not be accidental at all. Those appearances may represent strategic positioning. So ask yourself this. Could Prince William and Kate Middleton already be introducing the public to the next generation of trusted royals without most people even noticing? At the same time, Prince Harry reportedly remains aware that public narratives inside Britain are changing, and according to several royal biographers, Prince Harry understands that once Prince William becomes king, emotional family history may no longer be enough to preserve institutional privilege. Prince Harry, whose identity has always been deeply connected to military service, public affection, and the emotional legacy of Princess Diana, now reportedly faces a far more strategic opponent than media criticism or tabloid speculation. Prince Harry may now be facing Prince William, the future king, not as a brother, but as an institutional reformer. And when family conflict transforms into constitutional strategy, even bloodline may not guarantee protection. What would you do if you were Prince Harry? Fight publicly, negotiate privately, or walk away completely? Meanwhile, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, continues to maintain global relevance through media projects, business ventures, public appearances, and carefully built brand identity, and supporters of Meghan Markle often argue that the Duchess of Sussex has successfully created a modern path beyond traditional royal dependency. Yet critics inside palace circles reportedly view Meghan Markle's independence through a different lens, because every commercial success connected, even indirectly, to royal recognition allegedly reinforces Prince William's concerns about title commercialization. Some commentators now suggest that Prince William sees the Sussex brand not simply as a family challenge, but as a constitutional warning about what happens when inherited status becomes permanently detached from institutional duty. And if Prince William truly believes that principle threatens the monarchy's long-term credibility, then reform may no longer be optional. Reform may be inevitable. What makes the situation even more urgent is the broader political environment surrounding King Charles III, because public conversations about taxpayer accountability, national priorities, ceremonial spending, and institutional modernization have become louder than at any point in recent memory. Royal commentators increasingly note that younger generations view titles differently, privilege differently, and public service differently, which means Prince William may not simply be preparing for a family transition. Prince William may be preparing for a cultural transition. Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis represent the visible future of that transition, while James, Earl of Wessex, may represent the supporting architecture behind it. And once architecture becomes visible, structures change permanently. But perhaps the most explosive question of all has yet to be answered, because if Prince William, the future king, truly intends to reduce titles, redefine privilege, elevate loyalty, and reward quiet duty, then what happens on the day Buckingham Palace officially announces the first names affected by that reform? Because according to growing speculation, that day may not begin with James, Earl of Wessex. That day may begin with Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, and a decision that could permanently redefine what it means to belong to the British monarchy. And what happens next may become the most emotional chapter of all. There comes a moment in every great institution when private emotion can no longer delay public transformation, and according to the growing wave of reports surrounding Prince William, the future king, Catherine, Princess of Wales, King Charles III, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, and the increasingly visible restructuring of the royal family, many palace observers now believe that moment may be approaching faster than anyone inside Buckingham Palace is willing to publicly admit. Because if the previous chapters were about warning signs, internal frustration, constitutional preparation, and strategic positioning, then what comes next may not simply reshape titles, privileges, or family relationships. What comes next may redefine the very identity of the modern British monarchy itself. Royal commentators increasingly suggest that Prince William, the future king, no longer views reform as a future option to be considered after coronation ceremonies, after succession protocols, or after political timing becomes convenient. According to some insiders, Prince William now reportedly views reform as an urgent institutional necessity, shaped by years of family tension, public controversy, shifting taxpayer expectations, and the growing belief that titles without service can eventually weaken the authority of the crown itself. Prince William reportedly understands something many people outside palace walls may overlook, because public trust, once damaged, rarely returns through speeches alone. Public trust returns through visible action. And if Prince William truly believes that every unresolved controversy surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle creates another crack in institutional credibility, then decisive action may no longer be a matter of personal preference. Decisive action may become part of Prince William's legacy from the very first day of a future reign. But what would you do if you were Prince William? Protect family harmony, or protect the institution at any cost? At the same time, Catherine, Princess of Wales, continues to stand beside Prince William as one of the most trusted and stabilizing figures inside the monarchy, and according to royal observers, Kate Middleton's influence may prove just as important as Prince William's authority during this next chapter. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has spent years building public confidence through discipline, consistency, and carefully managed visibility, and some insiders believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, understands that the monarchy's future will depend not simply on tradition, but on credibility with younger generations, international audiences, and taxpayers who increasingly demand transparency. That means every move made by Prince William may also carry the strategic support of Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, creating a leadership partnership that could define the monarchy for decades. And when Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, move together, Buckingham Palace rarely treats those movements as temporary. Meanwhile, King Charles III reportedly remains caught between emotional loyalty and institutional duty, because King Charles III remains not only the sovereign, but also the father of Prince Harry. That emotional reality cannot simply be erased by constitutional paperwork, parliamentary support, or royal tradition. Yet some commentators now believe King Charles III may quietly recognize that Prince William's generation faces a very different monarchy than the one inherited by Queen Elizabeth II, because modern audiences analyze spending, privilege, branding, and accountability in ways previous generations never did. If King Charles III allows Prince William's reform agenda to continue developing behind the scenes, some analysts believe the transition between King Charles III and Prince William may become one of the most strategically coordinated successions in modern royal history. And if that happens, could the public one day look back at this moment as the true beginning of the William era, long before any coronation actually takes place? For Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, however, the stakes may now feel more personal than ever, because according to reports, every international appearance, every branded partnership, every public statement, and every strategic media project may now be interpreted through an entirely different lens inside palace meetings. Some supporters of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle argue that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have simply built independent lives outside Buckingham Palace, outside institutional expectations, and outside outdated royal restrictions. Yet critics inside royal circles reportedly argue that independence becomes more complicated when titles connected to the monarchy continue shaping global opportunities. So let me ask you directly. Should Prince Harry and Meghan Markle keep royal recognition while living entirely outside royal duty, or should Prince William, the future king, draw a permanent line between public service and private influence? And then there is James, Earl of Wessex, the quiet royal whose name has increasingly entered conversations about the future of the institution. While Prince Harry and Meghan Markle dominated headlines, documentaries, memoirs, interviews, and global debate, James, Earl of Wessex, together with Prince Edward and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, quietly built something that Prince William reportedly values above everything else: trust. Not headline trust. Not social media trust. Institutional trust. And sometimes inside the monarchy, the people who say the least eventually inherit the most influence. If Prince William's reforms continue exactly as insiders suggest, James, Earl of Wessex may not inherit Prince Harry's exact titles, but James, Earl of Wessex may inherit something even more valuable: strategic importance inside the next royal era. So now the question moves from palace rumors to public history, because when Prince William, the future king, finally steps into full authority, will Prince William choose reconciliation or restructuring? Will Prince Harry and Meghan Markle remain connected to the institution, or become symbols of a royal chapter that quietly came to an end? And when Catherine, Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, stands beside Prince William during that defining moment, will the world witness the beginning of a smaller, stronger, and far more disciplined monarchy? What do you think? Should Prince William remove the Sussex titles, or should Prince William find a different path for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because your opinion matters in this conversation. And if you enjoyed this deep royal analysis, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join us for the next chapter, because inside the royal family, the biggest stories are rarely the ones announced first.